All right, let's just jump right into it. I'm Philip. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not Philip DeFranco, but I am a Philip. Anyway, jumping right into it, there is a Pokemon rumor of sorts. If my cat, Loki? Loki is going to the bathroom. Lovely. Anyway, there was a a Pokemon rumor going around that I don't think it's caught much traction, but it's caught some traction. Obviously, it is to be taken with a huge grain of salt because, as most leaks, I think it originated from 4chan. I don't remember the original author or poster, but I'll make sure to link it down below and find as much as I can to link down below, like the original leaker, whatever, all that stuff. But this is for next year's Pokemon's 25th anniversary. Obviously, Super Mario 3D All Stars have started a craze now. People want a Zelda All Stars. Obviously, I have my own opinions on that and the possibilities they could go down with that, but that's another video topic. So let's just continue on with this one because this one's about Pokemon's 25th anniversary. And it's about a Pokemon compilation game coming to the Switch, according to the leak, in March of next year, which to me seems a little early for something so unannounced. But then again, Super Mario 3D All Stars was leaked last year to come out this year, and they announced it at the beginning of September, late August, and released it literally in the middle of August. So that's like not even a month in between the announcement and the game's release. So it's not out of realm for them to just announce a Pokemon compilation game for the Switch and then release it literally not even a month later or a month later or 2 months later. But this compilation game is 5 games, and they only list 3 games specifically. And that is Pokemon X and Y. Obviously, I don't have X, I only have Y. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Obviously, I only have Omega Ruby. And Pokemon Sun and Moon. And they specifically state, I did not grab it, so let me grab it real quick, that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon are not a part of the package. Which makes sense. You only want to include one of the 2 versions because they are vastly identical. The only questioning is, why would you choose Sun and Moon over Ultra Sun and Moon when Ultra Sun and Moon is a much better game than Sun and Moon? I don't. That's the only thing I don't understand. Like, obviously X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they make sense. And then Sun and Moon, you got all the 3DS games, but again, why would you choose Sun and Moon over Ultra Sun and Moon when Ultra Sun and Moon is just a much more improved version of Sun and Moon? That I don't understand, but Sun and Moon is still an okay game. Obviously, Pokemon Sword and Shield and the Let's Go games will not be a part of it because they're already on the Switch. So why add them? And then, to my theory, that only leaves a couple games left. You have purely Generation 1 games, purely Generation 2 games, Generation 3, Fire Red Leaf Green, Generation 4, Heart Gold Soul Silver, and Generation 5. Now, if I had to choose, obviously, Heart Gold and Soul Silver is a no-brainer. Not only is this a no-brainer, but with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee already on the Switch being Kanto, essentially just a Let's Go version of Kanto, and then Heart Gold Soul Silver being the remakes of Johto and one of the best games of all time, and also having Kanto part of that, nullifies all of Generation 1 and 2. So you don't need Pokemon Red or Gold or any of the games in those 2 generations at all. And that also means you don't need Fire Red Leaf Green. And Omega Ruby being a part of it kind of already discounts Emerald Ruby and Sapphire. So that's generations 1, 2, and 3 purely already kind of cast aside. You don't need them. They're not necessary. They're already represented on the Switch. Or, in the case of these two, would be represented. And then obviously that leaves, the scapegoat. Pokemon Platinum. Diamond and Pearl. Well, with the impending full-on remakes of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum possibly in the works, that discards these, or disqualifies them to being in the race. So with 5 games to choose from, 3 of them already announced, 2 left to speculation, it makes sense that they'd be DS games. One, in my opinion, the first generation, Red, Blue, and Yellow, are archaic and hard to play. Not impossible, nostalgic for sure, but rough around the edges by today's standards. Especially for someone who started with Soul Silver. And I think Gold, Silver, and Crystal are in the same kind of boat. They're archaic, but not as archaic. And Gen 3, I have never played a Gen 3 game. At all. Like, ever. I've never played Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green. I've never touched any of those 5 games, so I don't know how archaic those Game Boy Advance games would feel having played all of these newer games. I mean, I started on Soul Silver, so the DS games are kind of my territory where I'm up to, and even then going back to them now, having played the newer 3D games like X and Y, Sun and Moon, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sword and Shield, all of them kind of make it a little harder to go back to it, despite the fact that one of my favorite games of all time is a Pokemon DS game. But that leaves the burning question: what's the 5th game? If I've ruled out all of Generation 1, all of Generation 2, all of Generation 3, I've discounted Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl based on the fact that they're possibly getting full-on remakes, like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So that just leaves one generation. Generation 5. Black and White. Black and White 2. Now, for the sake of argument, you could literally cast aside Soul Silver and then just add both Black and White and Black and White 2, but that would be dumb. Because Heart Gold and Soul Silver is one of the best games of all time. That being said, Heart Gold, Black and White 2 are not in the same boat as Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. Whereas Ultra Sun and Moon is basically an enhanced, almost reimagining, remastered. I wouldn't say remastered. It's more of a reimagining because it's literally the same hardware and everything. It's an updated reimagining of Sun and Moon. It's an alternate take on it. A much more better version, which is why it makes no sense they're using Sun and Moon over Ultra Sun and Moon. Enough of that grievance. But anyway, Black and White 2 don't have that same dynamic. Where Black and White 2 was a straight-up sequel taking place 2 years after the original game. Honestly, even I originally made fun of this concept back before I even played Pokemon, and, it was a bit pretentious of me to. Black and White 2, so dumb. Why didn't they just make a gray? But then my ex-girlfriend got me into Pokemon, and then I went to GameStop, and I was like, I really want to play Pokemon, but I've already played Soul Silver, and I don't want to delete that save file on that team. And Black and White 2 were the new games that year, or the newest ones, so I bought it. This was like March, April, May of the year X and Y came out. And I fell in love with the game. I had one of my favorite teams on that game. And again, that's another idea topic for a later day. Me just going over my Pokemon teams and I guess grading them. And boy, oh boy, are some of them terrible. Anyway, but they're not in the same boat. there's a quality of life to adding both versions, but I can understand only adding one, and if you have to add one, it's safe to assume that it's not black and white too. I don't own black and white, so I can't use a physical representation of it. So I just have black 2 as a stand-in for that generation. Anyway, you would use black and white, obviously, because it's the start. Black and white 2 is a continuation. While you don't need to play black and white to understand it and play it, it does help here and there, you know? So, when you come down to it, you would have Soul Silver, you know, which allows Johto and Kanto to be involved. You would have Omega Ruby for Generation 3. Then you would skip over Generation 4 because they're getting full-blown remakes and jump straight into black and white. The first game's not the second one. Again, I don't own the first game, so I'm using the sequels to stand-in. And then, obviously, X and Y and Sun and Moon. And you have 7 of the 8 regions on the Switch. 6 of the 8 regions present in this compilation package. Momo, my cat is a demon, I swear to God. And obviously they'd probably all be emulated and not upscaled immensely. They'd probably just get a slightly less enhanced version of what Sunshine and Galaxy got in the 3D All-Stars. But anyway, that's just my thoughts and takes. Obviously, the big thing here was you're bringing all the 3DS games, and obviously, you know, you're not going to have both versions on one copy, on one cartridge. You're going to split them up in the Pokemon fashion. And obviously, it makes sense, because if you look at them, obviously, I don't know if you get the theme here, but these 3 games right here have a similar color palette. So therefore it makes sense that if you were to buy a version, that version would come with Pokemon Y, Omega Ruby, Sun, and Heart Gold. And the other version would have Soul Silver, X, Alpha Sapphire, and Moon. The tricky part comes in with black and white. Which version would go to which? Obviously, if it was black and white too, you'd put black with the warm colors and white with the cool colors. But that's not the case with black and white. With black and white, you have the black case with the white dragon and the white case with the black dragon. So then it kind of depends on what you're doing. If you're putting like just the cases on a case, or if you're just taking the focal point of the case and putting it to a mesh, that changes things. So at that point, if you're just using the dragon on the cover, white would go with cool and black would go with warm. But if you're using the whole case as a whole, then that does change things. It's the reverse. The white dragon would go with cool. No, the white dragon would go with warm and the black dragon would go cool. Right? The white case goes with cool colors. Black case, warm colors. Black dragon, warm colors. White dragon, cool colors. Flip-flopping. But anyway, that's just my thought. So, you theoretically, for this case, we're just going to use dragons anyway. So, you'd have Soul Silver, Black, X, Alpha Sapphire, and Moon all on one cartridge. And then you'd have another version with Heart Gold, White. I'm getting mixed up here. Did I say dragons? I don't know. Black and white mixes me up. Anyway, you would have Y, Omega Ruby, and Sun all on one cartridge. Warm colors, cool colors. Obviously, that's how you go. And again, all the Game Boy games would be disqualified because of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Omega Ruby. And then Generation 4, main games, would be disqualified because of their impending remakes. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on this, how this would go. If it is true, I do hope it's true, but again, the March of 2021 release date kind of makes me skeptical, but that's also when Super Mario 3D All-Stars is set to end its, run and retail. So maybe they do the same thing here. 6 to 7 months run in retail, and then it's gone for good. So there's that. I hope it's true, but you never know. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Tell me what your opinions of this compilation would be down below, and what version you would be more willing to buy. And, comment if you will, like and subscribe. Ta-ta for now.